I don't care, okay? I don't care if you have seen these books 1,000 times on this channel. I'm gonna show them again, okay? Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Dee and this is Dee's Bookish Musings. This is where I'm sharing my love for reading at my own pace. If you're new here, I would appreciate if you consider subscribing down below if you like all things books. So happy Black History Month. I read majority Black books anyway, so I'm not going to be doing a specific like TBR video, but I thought I would come and share some of my faves. Okay, now I have talked about these books before. However, I have gotten some new subscribers, and I know sometimes people don't go back and review your videos. I do that from time to time on people's channel that I'm subscribed to. I do eventually go back to their older videos, like here and there, but I'm bringing this to the forefront right now because we are in Black History Month right now, and I want to share these books to some of you all who have heard about these books, heard me talk about these books on the channel, but have yet to read them. I don't know why. I love these books. You guys need to read them. And also to those who are new to the channel and have not heard me talk about these books. So I'm going to show, let me see, I've got 5 books. I'm not going to overwhelm you. Now, I don't give out 5 stars a lot here on the channel. It really has to stick with me. It has to be unforgettable. To me, it has to have a lot more elements than just the simple story being told. Yeah, so these are very precious to me, and I have 5 of them that I want to share with you all. And again, I don't care that I have talked about these books before, okay? I'm going to talk about them again. And so I am going to go in publish date order. I'm going to start with the oldest published books because I like to give a platform to older books, backlisted books, because they need love too. I'm not really one who goes out and buy the latest. I tend to read a lot of the older backlisted books, but I do throw in a new book here and there, and I do have, you know, some newer books on the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna start with the oldest book in this stack, and you know I was gonna bring it out. Okay, you already know. Cane River by Lalita Tademy. This was published in 2001, so this is the oldest book in my stack. And I read this at the top of the year last year, and it got a 5-star. I still cannot forget about this book. These ladies are stamped in my brain, right? So this is a multi-generational story of Lalita Tademy's family. She did improvise or added her liberties to the story as well. So it starts in slavery and it goes throughout the generation to emancipation. And we follow each generation of ladies as they grapple with what they're dealing with, slavery and emancipation and all of the injustices and contradictions that goes with all of those things. It talks about colorism, which plays a big part of this book. So if you like a multi-generational story with a lot of things going on, a lot of trauma. I hate to say it is trauma because we're dealing with slavery, post-Civil War, all those things. So it's a lot. You got to get your mind right, okay? You got to get your mind right before you read this book. You won't forget this book. You will not forget this book. I gave this 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I will reread it at some point. And as you can see, I tabbed it all up. I had a good time reading this book. This book we're going to talk about is Jesmyn Ward, Men We Reaped. And it's a memoir, okay? This book was published in 2013. It was published in 2013, and Jesmyn Ward was an author that I wanted to explore in 2025. I did. I read 3 of her books, including this one, and she's very complex. She's a very complex writer, great writer. She writes literary fiction in a historical sense, and this one is a memoir focusing on not only her life, but she puts the men that she lost up to the forefront to give them a name so they're not forgotten. And these were close family members, some friends that were lost because of the injustice of Black people in the South and all the factors that came along with them losing their life, like lack of opportunity, lack of prosperity, like poverty, not having the advantages of, you know, white counterparts. And sometimes you can be stuck in that cycle, which a lot of these men were, and they were lost, unfortunately, because of their circumstances that they were in that shaped, I would say, that was shaped their lives, right? And so I love this book because she not only talked about herself, but she remembered these men in a very special way. And the book was just powerful. I was very teary-eyed reading this book, and it just set me up for what I could expect from her. Like I said, she is an author that you got to get your mind right to read, because she is very complex. Her prose is kind of lyrical, poetic, and deep. The book is The Coming by Daniel Black. I think this was the second book that I read from him. I read Perfect Peace first, but I wanted to introduce this one because this one, out of the two, this one probably was the most powerful, because it talks about the Middle Passage. And it's a novel about the Middle Passage as our ancestors were captured in a journey to the Americas, right? And it counts down the days to when they land on American soil and all the atrocities that goes on this ship. This is a hard one, I'm not gonna lie. It is a hard one, but it's so powerful, and you will never forget this book. You will never forget this book. If you don't like to read nonfiction, okay, because I'm sure the nonfiction would be worse or, even more hard to read than this one. This one is hard, okay? You got to get your mind right with this one too. Read this book because it is told in it's a fiction. It's a fiction, but based on historic and true events. He gives all the characters like a purpose, a name. And they're unforgettable, right? Everybody has a story, even though they might not have made it. Everybody has a story in this book, and I love this book. I just absolutely loved it. Put this one on your TBR if you are not afraid to go there. The next book that I want to recommend to you is Finding Me by Viola Davis. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people read this one in 2026 because there's a lot of new readers that are upcoming. So if you are wanting to get into a memoir, Viola Davis, unfortunately, is the it woman. She's the it girl. She's the it girl because even though in 2026 it really can only be, I wish it wasn't like that. It really can or is only one person, one woman who is considered the it girl, like in Hollywood. And to me, that's Viola Davis. There are a lot of other black actresses out there, but I think Viola is like the go-to girl, which is very unfortunate because it's a lot of non-working actresses that just, didn't get their chance. So powerful, so inspirational. You'll never forget this story. You do have to get your mind right for this one too. I'm sorry, y'all, that this one is a hard one. I think I am going to do another video of some more lighter books, right? But I guess this video is for people who are not afraid to go there, who are not afraid to read tough stories. You will definitely, if you're black, you could probably relate to Viola. Some of the things that she went through, was relatable to me. Now, I didn't have a tumultuous family relationship going up like she did, but I could relate to this book in so many ways. Like, it's so inspirational. Like, if you need some motivation or want to read a story where the person came from nothing and rose up, read her story, please. 5-star memoir, unforgettable. And that was published in 2022. All right, so the next one is a newly published book. It's also a memoir, Bernice L. McFadden, Firstborn Girls. I just read this one because she is the author, one of the authors that I want to read from in 2026, and so I picked up her memoir. I do try to do that when I read new authors, read their memoir or their biographies if they have one. That way I know what I'm getting because I'm reading about their story, how they grew up, how they think, things like that. And so I know I'm going to have a lot of fun reading her books because her memoir was so good. It reads like a fictional novel, very colorful family members she talks about. She's very, I would say, transparent in this book. It's a lot of honesty, and that's what I look for when I read a memoir: transparency, honesty. Also, how the book was written, right? Was it written well? Did it affect my reading experience? Because if a book is not written well, then no matter if they're talking about their lives, if it's not written well, in my opinion, then it's going to affect my reading experience. So this one was 5 stars, so good, so colorful. She also gives you a history lesson in this book as well. You will definitely learn something you can reference and maybe research on your own if you're curious about it. Definitely somebody who is grounded in her history, her Black history, her roots. Look, pick this one up. Don't hear a lot of people talking about this one, but read her memoir, okay? Read her memoir and then read her books. The book that I'm gonna read next is this book right here. I've had this book on my list to read for years, and so I chose to read this one because it's been in my catalog or on my shelf for a long time. So y'all, that is all of the books I think you should read for Black History Month. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and be blessed.